Hello. Okay. So we hopefully in the last class you got through. We're doing our Shark Tank project, and hopefully in the last class you got through the following. Hopefully you got through putting the project title on, making sure you have page numbers, dates, signatures on every page. Hopefully you did the problem or the objective statement. Lots of brainstorming ideas. If you thought of more brainstorming ideas since the last class, then please add to your brainstorming. You should have completed constraints and criteria, and you should have gotten a good jump on research, okay? So today, what you're gonna be working on is you're gonna be finishing up your research. You're gonna be doing explore possibilities. You're gonna choose a design and state why, and hopefully start in on your design, okay? So I'm gonna go through each of those steps and what you need to do to finish that, to do those today. So to revisit, okay, so you should be coming up with ideas. You now know the constraints and criteria. One of the key constraints and criteria is that it needs to be shop worthy. So you should be going back through your ideas and like starting to, pick your, I guess, favorite, anywhere from 3 to 5 ideas. And from those 3 to 5 ideas, you're going to be researching. You're going to be researching, and hopefully you've already started this, but just to recap, in case you haven't, you need to research, does it exist? So, for example, I gave the idea about the like watering a tree. Like, is there any inventive ways of watering a tree? So I could research that. I could go to Safari or Chrome or Google or AI and be like, what products exist to make watering a Christmas tree easier? And I could research that. And you could research through images, you can research through the internet. You're gonna just see if it exists, okay? Let's say, so that's the first thing, okay? So then you answer, your findings will say, yes, it does exist, or this exists, and then you can keep going from there, okay? So another thing you could research is how to, so if I was doing the research on a watering can, maybe it had some ideas, so I might write those down, but maybe my idea is something different, okay? So for my idea for a watering can, one of my ideas for a solution is that you have some system, I've seen these before, where you have some system where you have a tube connect the two, and it will only go certain levels. But I would need to research how that works. I've seen cat food bowls, or things where it's a water dish where you have a big water tank up here and it keeps the water steady over here. So I would need to research, how does this work? Okay, that's something I could research. How do I do something like that? So you can research, does it exist? You could research if you have an idea how to do certain things, to do X, Y, or Z. Okay. Another thing that you could be researching, let's say that you have an idea, you know how to make it. I mean, how, what kind of design you have in your mind, but you're not quite sure how to make it. Okay, so there's different things you can research, and you should be thinking about going through each of your 3 to 5 favorite brainstorm ideas. Now, when you're selecting these 3 to 5 favorite brainstorm ideas, you need to be keeping in mind the constraints and criteria. And one of the key things is it shop worthy? Okay, so one thing you could be thinking about researching or possibly adding into the mix is, if you have something that you don't think is shop worthy, trying to see if there's a way that you can modify your idea, your design, to make it shop worthy. Okay, so that's research. So then after research, you're going to do explore possibilities. That's step 5. And for explore possibilities, you need the following. You need to obviously have you should have narrowed it down by now after your research to your top 3 ideas. And please don't just put all your eggs in one basket. Really, when you're doing this, try to make sure that you're trying to come up with not just one idea, but 3 good ideas, okay? And on each of these, you're gonna do a sketch. You're going to like say how it's like explain how it uses Shop. You're gonna like list materials needed. So for example, you might have like wood, maybe like and it doesn't have to be too specific, but maybe you're gonna need like some plywood. Maybe you're gonna have some 3D printed parts. Now keep in mind, if you do want to do 3D printed parts, we only have one printer, so sometimes there's a little bit of a wait for getting a print. And the other thing is, it's better if things don't use too much material. It takes a really, really long time to print. It's really slow, especially if it has a lot of material and if it's big. So if you do want to use the 3D printer, that's fine, but try to keep the parts smaller and not with a ton of material. Okay, things like that. Maybe you need, I don't know, maybe you need plastic tubing. Who knows what you need? So you're going to list that for each of your ideas. Okay, so you're going to list the same thing here and here. Sketch how it uses the Shop, yada, yada, yada. Then for step 6, oh, I guess one last thing is overall dimensions. Keep in mind that this ideally will fit in your cubby. If it doesn't fit in your cubby, then the only other option for storage is outside and it might get wet. Okay, so there is a kind of a dirt, like where the advanced STEAM students were storing their projects. There is an area out there that you can store it, but it is in the elements. Okay, so it's number 6, choose a design. So for choose a design, you're going to say which of those you wanted and state why. Why did you choose that? Okay. All right. So then if you finish all those, then you're going to move on to step 7. Step 7 is design. And the first thing I want you working on is Onshape. Keep in mind that for Onshape, you need to have your sketches fully defined, which means all lines are black. It needs to be real. It needs to be, you need to make it just like with the box. You had to make like each side, right? You need to make each part or everything in your project. It needs to be real things, okay? So it needs to be real, and it needs to be real dimensions. Okay. All right. So that is it. If you have any questions, like I said before, please email me. I will not be on my email all the time, but I will get back to you as soon as I can. And have a great day. Thank you.